Welcome to the San Diego Business Journal's Community of Business podcast, covering all of the vibrant business activity in the greater San Diego metropolitan area. And now, here are your hosts, Kevin Leap, publisher, and Jeff Clemetson, editor-in-chief.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin Leap. I'm the publisher of the San Diego Business Journal. Welcome to our podcast, A Community of Business. I'm here with our editor-in-chief, Jeff Clemetson. And Jeff, take it away.
Well, welcome everybody to the Community Business Podcast. And today we have returning guest Charles Bayani, founder and CEO of the merchant services provider Payment HQ. Welcome back, Charles.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you back. Last time we spoke, you had told us about how you started Payment HQ, that you built the business through personal connections, your background in finance and in banking, and how you made that into a career. What do you think the next phase of growth looks like for Payment HQ, and how do you think you'll achieve that?
You know, what's funny is at the beginning, I had no brand, I had no website. I actually didn't even have the company name when I started Payment HQ. It was just Charles Bayani, sole proprietor. And the funny thing about where we're at today is all based on my personal brand. At the time when I started the company, I didn't know that that was going to be the turning point for the next phase of growth, as you're saying, where we're headed to now. Because when people were talking with me and saying, hey, we like what you're saying, you seem like a nice guy and you seem informed, but we just don't know you, and how can we trust you with our money and our business? And at the time, I was the only thing that I had proof of who I was and where I was from was my LinkedIn profile online. And at that time, I was already 11 years in the finance world. So my LinkedIn profile has existed for 11 years plus. And over the years, I'd gotten testimonials from my peers. And some of those peers were senior vice presidents, executives, and CEOs and business owners from all over. And a light bulb moment went off that forever stayed with me, and this is dictating where we're going now, is people weren't doing business with me because of my brand. They were doing business with me, or not my brand, not my company, but they were doing business with me because of my reputation. And that turned into the most valuable asset or unlock that I've ever realized in business, because all my success in the bank came from doing the right things for people and never promising things that I can't do. So if I say it, I'm going to do it. And if I can't do it, I'm very clear, like, hey, what you're asking for is outside of what I could provide, but this is where I could meet you in the middle, right? This is the absolute best. And when I told people that I couldn't do what they asked, I earned more respect than, convincing someone like, hey, let me twist your arm and do business with me because I am who I am, or I have this big brand behind me. And yeah, that light bulb moment turned into, long story short, me hiring a mentor that taught me about video marketing, because video is essentially a way that people could get to know you before they even know you. And video is something that's evergreen for me, meaning it lives on LinkedIn, it lives on YouTube, it lives on Instagram, it lives on any social medium that you want to put it on or platform. And what that's done for me is it's allowed people to get to know me. So the doors are open, they see who I am, they hear what I say, they see the clients that I help or have helped in the past, they see the results on camera, and while I'm here with you guys doing a podcast, there's probably brand new eyes finding my video, engaging with my content, going to my website, Googling me, reading the reviews that we have, watching the videos that we have. They're all on the website. They're all on the internet, 24/7, working even when I'm here doing something else. And that's where our growth is in the next chapter of the Payment HQ. Is video marketing is what's exploding right now, and we're here for it.
Well, getting back to a little more basic type of web searches and ways that people find companies. A lot of people will just go on Google and be like, where is the least expensive merchant services that I can get in San Diego? How do you think that when people find like that, or what are the ways that customers find you if that is the usual way that most people look for merchant services is a general kind of a search?
Today, what a lot of people don't know is Instagram, YouTube are extensions of Google itself, meaning they have their own internal SEO. And oftentimes when you go to a search engine like Google or Microsoft or Yahoo, it's all referencing data bits that Google has already. And today people find me on Instagram the most. Number 1 through Instagram, number 2 through LinkedIn, and number 3 through just regular Google. Like if you search Charles Bayani, you're finding the Payment HQ. If you search the Payment HQ, you're finding me. So there's a healthy synergy between my company's brand and my brand.
And what about people who are just looking for the cheapest merchant service and that's what they're looking for? Is there an issue that might come up for companies that are just kind of looking for the number one least expensive merchant services provider in the area?
That is probably how 90% of the market searches for payment services. Mm-hmm. And the fact and the truth is just because they're cheaper doesn't mean they're better. There is going to be compromises in the quality of the service and also the quality of the technology that you'll be offered from these companies. Can someone be cheaper and be floor rate and you get a smoking deal? Yes, but at what compromise? Maybe you have support that's not available 24/7. Maybe you have support that's AI. Maybe you're calling a 1-800 number with a million prompts before you actually speak to a person. And we all know the saying, time is money. And if you're wasting your time calling for support, instead of running your business, you're losing money. And where we stand apart, in that conversation about being the most cheapest or lowest rate merchant provider out there is we're not the most expensive. We're in the middle and we're priced reasonably, but in order to do what we do for our customers and deliver the results and the experience that they get, there's a cost to it. And at the end of the day, like the people that we're helping are business owners that want to focus on growing and giving great experiences to their customers and also using systems so that they could also grow their own private business and turn it into an enterprise. And that's the gap. These companies that are really just selling payment services as a commodity, as a transactional, like, oh, everybody can do payment processing. Here's a card reader or here's a basic software and take payments. They're buying the service the wrong way. And that's a huge mistake to shop, in my opinion, for merchant services, is shopping for the lowest rate.
And then what does Payment HQ do to add that missing value to customers? Like, what is it specifically in the services? Or give an example. And what is it about your infrastructure that gives you an advantage? And obviously your customers an advantage as well when they're using you.
I'll give you an example. So at restaurants, that's a huge market that we have here in San Diego. We serve tons of restaurants, and a lot of them don't realize that the customer buying experience will determine if they come back. And we'll teach them and offer them services around loyalty. We'll also teach them about how the specific system they pick could dictate how fast they could turn tables. So we're teaching these customers like, hey, here's some tools. And this is how you could turn more tables in a day. And we'll give you an example. If you could turn an extra 2 or 3 tables an hour in a 8-hour workday, how much upside in revenue could you potentially see? Because when you see someone walk up and take an order and they're manually writing it down, they have to take that slip, walk it back to the kitchen and give it to the cook. And then they go to another table, do the same thing, walk it back to the cook. Whereas today, in most modern restaurants, they have a little device. They take it it gets flung back to the kitchen automatically. We're talking now, time is money. We're saving time. We're speeding up the transaction. And the number one thing, at least I'll speak for myself on this, when people are at restaurants, they want to get their food quick. They want to be served fast. And the longer it takes for food to get to you, the lower the tip could become, the experience and satisfaction go down, and the technology and products that we offer in our business customers to use that technology so that they can be more productive with their staff. So we're teaching them how to make more money with our technology. We're teaching them how to operate their business a lot smoother. And by default, because the experience gets better for the employees, the workflow is streamlined, the customers have a great experience, you could expect tips go up, return customers, repeat business goes up. And we haven't even touched into loyalty yet. We're just talking about on the surface, like, this is how we could help you serve customers faster. How can we have these same customers come back and spend more with you? We help them also dial in loyalty programs so that, hey, when you spend $1 here, the next time you visit us, you'll get 5% off. And we have data, it's all backed, but when you have a loyalty program, you do have repeat business of 35%, and you have the spend go up by 80%. Because, I'm getting a discount. This time, I want to try this other dish that I didn't try last time, or this other drink, or other pastry, or what have you. So when we can show business owners these numbers, these data points, and existing clients around San Diego, that's the gap we're filling, because the other unknown merchant company, is just selling, hey, we have the lowest rates. Here's a basic terminal. Good luck. With us, you're getting a system. You're getting your payments, you're getting reporting, you're getting loyalty, you're getting technology that's going to help you operate your business smarter and more efficient, and therefore, make you more money. The thing that people miss, the thing that I've learned is people would rather prevent, it's called loss aversion. Mm-hmm. People would rather fight tooth and nail not to lose money, and they feel great when they protect it. But when we help them unlock $10,000, if we're helping them prevent a loss of $10,000, they're like, yeah. But when we tell them, you don't have to change anything, all you have to do is use our systems that are tested and true, and you could see lift in your business, they're not as excited to gain an extra $10,000. But thanks to marketing, thanks to all our data points and all the clients that we have here, we have plenty of proof. And yeah, that's how we make an impact. And that's our big differentiator there is we're not just selling payments, we're selling a system.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was also wondering if you wouldn't mind getting the nuts and bolts of your business, like how you make your money, what the operations are like, mm-hmm. and then these expanded services, and what customers can expect from Payment HQ when they deal with you. So what we have is an all-in-one ecosystem. You don't need to buy all of our services and products, but if you start with one, you could grow into it. So for example, if you come to us and you come to us for payments, which is our bread and butter, and the way we make income in the company or revenue is transaction fees and monthly fees of our services. Our value add services are payroll, and the other value add service that we offer is also small business financing. And when I say small business financing, our limit is anywhere from at the least $8,000 starting to finance someone all the way up to $25 million. So anything $25 million and up, we have to refer you to a commercial lender, a big bank or whatnot. And given my background, I have so many people great people that I could refer them to work with. But revenue usually comes from transaction fees. And funny enough, a lot of people, there's a misnomer out there that, a myth I want to bust is the big number that you see typically doesn't go to the payment processor, like a company like mine. There are 3 people who split the pie before it even gets to the business owner. A company like mine is one.
Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express take a piece of that pie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third pie is the banks. So every bank that you could think of is in cahoots with Visa, is in cahoots with payment processors. And every time someone swipes their card, the bank that backs the brand, so you could have a Chase Visa card. So, Chase is getting revenue and Visa is getting revenue. But maybe this SoFi MasterCard, they're also another bank, another financial institution. They, if you swipe a MasterCard gets a piece of the revenue, SoFi gets a piece of that revenue, and then a company behind the scenes like mine that moves the money from point A to point B gets a share of that revenue.
Charles, excuse me, Charles, what's your percentage usually that you take?
In reality, I could give you a range. It varies based on industry and how you accept cards, but usually you should land anywhere between 2 to 4%. And that's usually not our total take like a company like mine would take. So ours would be anywhere between of that 2 to 4% of the total fee, you could expect us to be anywhere between a quarter to maybe 1% at most.
Awesome. Now, in our last conversation, we talked about, and then earlier today, you talked about how to take great care to develop your brand, and alongside building your brand, what is the most important part of building a business, and that to you as a business owner, what is the greatest satisfaction and most important part about that?
The thing that fills my cup is having impact. So I get my motivation or my drive from actually changing someone's trajectory, meaning I'm either leveling up a business or saving a business from going out. And for me, that's really what it's all about, because these people that I do business with, I create a relationship with them, and it goes beyond business, and it's just so much more of a meaningful relationship than just customer and company. And for me, having a community rally behind me and me rally with a community is very important. And I think my core philosophy in doing business is do what you say and say what you do. So at the beginning, I don't know if I said this on camera, but off camera, if it was not captured, I said, I never promise anything that I can't deliver. So when customers ask me I need you to go this low on the rate, that's a very common request. Mm-hmm. And we're always happy to meet them in the middle, just as long as it's reasonable, because there is a cost for me to be doing business. There's systems, employees, and the customer support also. That's where a lot of the costs go too. And just as long as we're not going into the red, I'm always going to meet the customers where I can reasonably meet them, right? Because there's no sense in me going negative to here's the lowest rate. And actually, I want to circle back to a point earlier. When a company can offer the lowest rate, the truth is no one's making money. If I was making, let's say I sign an account and I'm making $10 on the account a month, because they're I need your monthly fee to be $10. And they're but now I need your help. I need you to drop what you're doing and come to my store because my system doesn't work, or I can't access my money, or where is it? I mean, just to drive across town to see someone would cost me $10. And then on top of that, the time that I would spend there. So I would end up going into negative to serve someone like that. So I'm not in the business of being the most expensive just because. I'm in the business of helping people make more money. And the way our industry is set up is, when our customers win, we also win by proxy. So my goal is always, how can I have the most impact to the customer? Am I going to help them save time? Am I going to help them save money? Am I going to help them make more money? And usually we win people because we're able to go in there and identify, you're missing systems, and this is how we could have impact. How would you feel making an extra 5,000, 10,000, 20,000? 68,000, 100,000 a year, and you don't have to do anything different. And most of the time we're asking these people the upfront investment, for whatever system that they're looking for, could be anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000, depending on their setup. And if their upside is potentially upwards of 100,000, if you do the ROI on that, most people are like, where do I sign? Right? Like, where do you invest $2,000 at the least and maybe on the upper end get a return of $100,000? Right? And that's the math that I'm able to illustrate because of my banking background, because of my years in finance. I could show them it's not about the lowest rate. It's about how you could run your business smarter.
And then, that has a lot of impact on the business owners that you serve as a Payment HQ. What has Payment HQ done for impacting you?
You know what's funny? I'll tell you this. When I started the company, I wasn't a father yet. And then now that I am a father, I feel like me being a businessman and being a parent has helped me become more patient with people. So I guess the Payment HQ has helped me become a better leader because being a parent, teaches you what your limits are on patience, especially with little ones that like all they do is cry and that's how they communicate. And I find that, managing my team and also managing the relationships with our vendors and whatnot is similar to like parenthood. And the thing about the Payment HQ that's helped me as a person too is I'm always searching for the win-win, right? And something that I've learned is if I'm the only one winning, I know that the person at the other end of the table that's shaking my hand and signing the deal is not going to be happy with me or be loyal to me. So I'm always working to make sure that I'm also winning while the other person's also winning. Like we could shake hands and we won't, regret, having a relationship together because at the end of the day, like when my phone rings for any of the clients that I personally manage, I don't want to roll my eyes and then answer and say, oh, how can I help you? I want to be excited. I'm like, oh my God, it's Jeff. Jeff's calling me. Like, I wonder what's going on, right? I'd rather have that experience than, there's usually, I don't know if you talk to a lot of sales guys, but like most sales guys, like they hate it when they get customer service calls, right? And for me, I'd rather have the customer service calls than not because if they don't feel confident or comfortable to call me, I already know I'm losing them. Like I need them to be able to trust me. And when something comes up, they're calling me, not looking for another vendor.
That's great.
This has been a podcast from the San Diego Business Journal, the community of business. Keep watch on the journal's website, sdbj.com, for this and other podcasts, past and future. Copyright San Diego Business Journal, all rights reserved.